Get ready to dive deep into Buffalo's vibrant music scene because we're stepping inside the fabulous Flamingo Lounge for the 8th season of local music magic. In the Flamingo Lounge with Rockabilly Greg is more than just a podcast. It's a collection of stories that delves deep into the vibrant musical history of Buffalo and Western New York, creating a living archive where each story adds a unique thread to the overall narrative. This season, we're taking a deep dive into the heart of the music community. Join us for personal conversations with musicians and industry pros, where we celebrate the collective creativity that makes our favorite artists, venues, and events so special. But before we get started, I'd like to give a big shout out to our sponsors, CatsLikeUs.com, Diamond Hawk Golf Course and Pub, and valued supporter Buffalo Ironworks for helping to keep the music alive. Josh English is one of the most in-demand drummers in Buffalo. Josh is the co-founder and drummer of the gender-bending powerhouse band from Buffalo, Grosh. He is renowned for his high-energy, hard-hitting playing, as well as his versatility. Josh plays with many of Buffalo's top-tier musicians, including Stress Dolls, Grace Stumberg, Sarah Elizabeth, and many more. In addition, he plays with award-winning Toronto band The Nursery and is an on-call studio drummer for GCR Audio, Buffalo's premier recording studio. Josh has shared the stage with many national acts, including Larkin Poe, Gary Numan, Hollerado, Goo Goo Dolls, and many, many more. His hard-hitting, driving feel will make sure you're on your feet when you see him perform. It is my honor to welcome to the Flamingo Lounge, solo today, Josh English. Josh.
Good to see you, Greg. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming down. Blah, 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 blah.
Words are hard.
Words are hard. That's right. I haven't had enough tequila yet, I guess. So, thanks for coming down. Yeah, we'll get there. Mm-hmm. So, thanks for coming down. You've been here a couple of times here with Grace and Megan talking about Grosh, but I've had both Grace and Megan here solo the last couple of months, and
those are great interviews too.
Because you guys got great stories by yourself.
Yeah, I learned some new stuff I didn't know listening to it. So yeah,
I always love that. I love when I hear bands say, "I've been playing with you for 10 years, man, and I didn't know that." Mm-hmm. You know, it's really interesting, and it's just so cool when you hear people and when they get a chance to, because obviously, you know, when there's three of you, you're dividing an hour.
Yes.
You know, amongst the three of you, and we played some music, but today we're just going to talk, and we're going to hear your story. So
sounds good.
And as I mentioned, both with Grace and Megan's podcast, I never asked you my infamous now aha moment question, because
signature,
that's right, because you guys were first down here, episode 5.
That's so cool.
Early on when the podcast was just getting its feet wet.
Was that like what, 2022?
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So now here we are, and almost up to episode 200, which is really cool.
Good for you, man. So cool.
And going great, loving every minute of it. But I want to make this hour about you, so let's start with, did you have an aha moment when you said music's what I want to do?
I think so. So I grew up in a very musical household right away. So my dad plays guitar, my mom sings, my brother, who I'm going to plug, you should definitely get my brother.
Oh, Richie?
Yeah. You should definitely get him on the show. He's got a lot of really cool stories he could tell. Yeah. So kind of surrounded by music. My grandmother, who's 101 now.
Oh, wow. God bless her. Yeah.
Jazz singer. She played with Jackie Jocko all the time.
Oh, wow.
And English.
Wow.
So surrounded by music. But my aha moment, so in 4th grade, I believe it was 4th grade, that's when I picked an instrument to play. And they gave you a piece of paper, you write down 3. And number 1 was violin for me. Then everybody wanted to play violin, so I didn't get it. And number 2 was drums. Mm-hmm. And so they put me into drum lessons and stuff. And I was into it, but I was just kind of going through the motions, just trying to kind of figure out how I fit in and stuff. And, at the time, my brother really took to piano, of course, and was doing all kinds of awesome stuff. And so he got a drum set for, I believe it was for Christmas or a birthday or something. And so even though his main instrument is piano, he's really good at everything. You can kind of play all instruments. You can sing, compose, all that stuff. But he played the drums. He's a pretty good drummer, but I was more interested in it. And I think my dad picked up that there was something there,
Mm-hmm.
and he would just take me into the basement and like we would jam. And I
Right.
didn't really know what I was doing. I was
Mm-hmm.
just kind of hitting stuff, but I had a sense of time, and
Mm-hmm.
we would kind of work together. And then I started learning drum set for real in school. There's a drummer that lived on my street, Steve Trippy, who was also very, very great Buffalo musician as well.
Right.
He played in Wide of the Mark, which turned into Speaker Fire later. Tons of other bands. I don't know if he lives in Buffalo anymore,
Mm-hmm.
but he sort of showed me some drum stuff. And at some point, my dad showed me, it was on DVD, Led Zeppelin Live at Royal Albert Hall, and the Moby Dick drum solo on that. I think that was the moment where I was like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Like, that's when I started getting really passionate about it.
Right.
So from there, I started practicing harder. Me, my dad, and my brother, we had a like a blues rock jam band called Plain English.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. And we played at Higher Grounds Coffee House all the time. And I kind of started learning from there how to cut my teeth. But I think that moment where my dad showed me that Moby Dick video
Right.
was when I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
like this is really cool. I must have watched that solo. It's like a 20-minute long solo.
Mhm.
I must have watched that thing like
Right.
so many times. So I think that's what would be my aha moment. Like, yeah, I want to do this. This is cool.
It's cool when stuff like gets into you like that, right? I mean, for me, it's the Brian Setzer twang guitar, you know, that rockabilly guitar. I don't like, or any of those rockabilly guys. That guitar gets into me, and it's like, yeah.
Do you like Psychobilly?
I do.
Are you like a Horton Heat guy?
Yeah, I'm a Horton Heat guy.
Okay,
I've seen Horton
sweet.
Heat 3 times. Yeah,
Yeah, I love that
he's
stuff.
I like kind of all the different. Well, we just went up to see JD McPherson this past weekend, and he was, you know, that was a great show. I mean, you know, and he's doing, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, he was a punk rocker, and everyone says, yeah, you know, rockabilly's where punk rockers go to retire, right?
I mean, what a retirement! Still sweating your ass off.
Yeah, still, but man, he brought out a Billy Gibbons Gretsch model and started just wailing on it. It's like, yeah, this guy next to me is like, whoa, that's a Billy Gibbons model. He's like, yeah. So it was, but yeah, and I wanted to be a drummer. I tried, didn't stick with it, got discouraged.
It's not easy.
Yeah, no,
it's not. Just got here from teaching drums, and can be tough. I always got to remind myself, like, this was really hard for me first, and there were times where I wanted to quit.
Right.
I remember drum lessons in school. We were learning about rolls, double stroke rolls. We were on the 5-stroke roll, which sounds more complicated as you just hit the drums 5 times. You bounce the stick. I just couldn't get it for whatever reason, and it was really frustrating, and I wanted to quit. And my mom basically gave me an ultimatum. It's like, just do it for another month. I'm going to give you a month, you know, and if you really hate it and you can't do it, you can quit.
Right.
That's like the best thing she ever did for me.
Right.
It's like, that's like drumming is my thing, you know?
Yeah.
So thank you, Mom.
That's right. I've mentioned it before on the podcast. There's that old, and Dear Abby, you know, it used to be at least every 6 months, someone would say, do I push my kid to play piano or do I let him quit? You know, and there was always 6 of one, half a dozen the other. Half of the respondents would say, let them do what they want. The other are like, push them. And of course, people are like, yeah, my mom made me stay with it. I'm glad she did, blah, blah, blah. Or, you know, I hate my mom because she made me stay with it. And I can't stand that instrument anymore. And, you know, you never know, you know. But I think parents do know that, you know, when there's an inkling of something, it's like, yeah, keep going.
she's a great singer as well. She's been in bands and she's been in a couple musicals, I think, as well. I don't know off the top of my head which ones, but you know, she's got the eye for it. She's got the ear for it. So yeah, Richie, she would drive him to piano lessons all the time.
Right. Yeah.
And you know, Richie, it was just really, really obvious right away, like how just good he was and how like just quickly he picked up piano. I think for me, it was a little less obvious. I definitely struggled at first, but same thing. Richie, when he went to UB for college, he worked with Tony Miranda, who directed the percussion section there, and introduced me to him. Of course, my mom knew him, and I started taking private lessons with him when I was, I believe, 15 or 16.
Okay.
Same thing. She would just drive me to lessons. So, yeah, like moms, man, Like when they see that you have a inkling for something, they kind of push you like, nope, like this is your thing. They know.
Yeah. Well, and and with the drums too. I mean, you got both feet working.
Yeah.
You got both hands working. I mean, I'm really kind of stupid when it comes to my left hand, you know? And I remember
you could be a drummer then, because every drummer complains about their damn left hand all the time.
And I remember hearing something that because Johnny Carson was a drummer, but he was also a musician, a magician, and did stuff with sleight of hand.
Okay.
And people are like, because he was so ambidextrous with his left hand and could do all that stuff, he was really good with doing all kinds of things with his left hand.
Did not know that. That's pretty cool.
And it's like, that's so cool. And it's like, I don't know. I've never hit a drum. I know Jamie Sunshine said, I'm going to teach you.
Yeah, it's good for her. I'll teach you too.
Yeah. I'm like, I want to one of these days before I get old and I got to learn to play the guitar. Now they're just artifacts on the wall, but doing this kind of my passion now. But one of these days, it's still in me. It's,
there's no time limit.
I'm always tapping and,
Oh, I have students that I had a student who unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago. His name was Bob. And he was old. He was in his late 70s, and he decided he wanted to learn the drums. He had Parkinson's.
Oh, okay.
So it was almost like physical therapy. It was really a learning experience for me as a teacher, too. But he learned. Like he learned some simple stuff on drum set, basically in spite of his Parkinson's, in spite of his tremors. So it's never too late to learn. I always hate it when people are like, I'm too old to learn that. I'm like, no, if you want to, if you truly want to, you can do it.
Oh yeah, you can do it. What as an instructor, what is your viewpoint on being on the actual instrument or the practice pad?
Both.
Both?
Both. Because practice pad is strictly for your hands.
Okay.
And I mean, just having a pad is nice because you don't have to worry about volume. You can practice whenever you want. You can hit as hard as you want. But because that mentality of the pad just being a practice thing, I feel like people tend to focus more on their actual technique and what they're doing. Whereas on the drum set, it's just so much fun.
Right.
You want to play the drums. I always say, like, it's called playing for a reason. So if you're practicing and it sounds like shit, that's the practice part. Like, practice should not sound great. You're not practicing if it sounds amazing and you're having a blast.
Right.
You're playing. It's fun. Like, just like little kids, it should be play.
Right.
So, yeah, I still love to just hit the pad, do some rudiments, warm-ups, things like that. I basically work on fundamentals these days.
Right. Now, do you have a brand that you're like, yeah, this is my... like Ludwig or Gretsch, is there I mean, obviously, like guitars, they've got to all be a little different and have a different feel to it. So
drummers pick camps, and I feel like with guitar players, it's usually real cut and dry. It's like, oh, I'm a Fender guy, or I'm a Gibson guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I'm a Gretsch guy.
Yeah, exactly. Drummers also do the same thing where they pick a camp, but I feel like with guitars, there's very clear differences between a Stratocaster and, an SG or something.
Right.
Like, you can hear it, like, even if you don't play guitar at all, like, oh, that's an SG. That's not a Fender, right?
Right.
With drums, it's a little different. I feel like most drums basically sound the same.
Okay.
Once you tune them well. And, like, I'm a gear nerd, and Grace and Dylan and Megan make fun of me for all the time. It's like, oh man, listen to that snare, and it's like, sounds exactly the same as the other one. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But to answer your question, I really like Mapex as a brand. They're one of my favorites. For American companies, Ludwig, no question.
Right.
Ludwig, they make the best snare drums in particular. Cymbals is where you can start hearing more differences.
Okay.
I really enjoy Meinl cymbals. They feel like they do the dark, trashy kind of sound the best. But I don't know, man. I love just geeking out on drums, and like, there's no brands that I really dislike. Like, everybody does their thing.
Yeah.
I will say I think some drums are overpriced for sure for what they're offering.
Right.
But that's one of the reasons I like Mapex so much, because they really offer professional level drums at a relatively affordable price, and they give you lots of options.
Yeah. Do you help your students pick out their first kit?
I do, because it can be a confusing thing to navigate for sure.
Yeah, because I always ask that. I mean, you see like guitar player, and they got all these, oh, I want this Marshall amp, and I want a tube amp, and I want this, and I want that, and it's like, how do you know all that stuff?
Well, I think that comes with mastery, right? Once you've played long enough to really understand the differences, cool. Now you can get picky. Now you can start splurging all that stuff. But like for drums in particular, you shouldn't be spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on your first drum set. Like you really need to know what you're looking for. There's not a single $800 drum kit that you can't get to sound phenomenal. Hardware is the thing that people pay for. So this is the part of the podcast where people are tuning out and falling asleep.
No,
just
come
talking
on, guys.
about
get back with us. I know we're getting into the weeds, but, but I kind of dig this. But anyway, so let's go back. So when you were in high school, there were you playing in a band with any of the guys or
I was.
ladies or
so. There's a band, I think my first band outside of the one with my dad and my brother was a band called Metanoia. And it was Lindsay Ketch was the singer. Becca Montiel played guitar and sang as well. Anthony Henry played bass, so he's still an active musician in Buffalo. And then my friend Timmy St. Laurent. And we were kind of like emo alternative, like it sounded a lot like Paramore. This was during the 2000s, and that was the first time like we played Extreme Wheels and Club Diablo and Infinity and like all those places, stuff like that.
Cool.
Be like a 20-minute set, there's 7 other bands on the bill, that kind of thing. So there was that one, and then early on in college joined a metal band, a death metal band called It Gets Worse. Brian DeJesus actually played bass in that.
Okay.
It was awesome. We still talk about to this day. We played one show. I think we spent more time practicing than actually playing.
Right.
Because the stuff was tough. Our guitar player, he was picky. And he was selective about where he wanted to play and being ready and stuff like that. And I haven't talked to him in a while. I hope he's doing okay. But that music was tough. And then after that, I met Grace Stumberg, who took a chance on me.
Sure.
And that kind of really blew open the gates to like actually playing professionally. So
wow. That's now like what time frame was that with Grace? Like early 20s or
no? That would have been that's got to be the 10s.
Okay.
Yeah, that's got to be the 10s. So I didn't even know Grace Logan at the time. Funny story, I had seen her once because she competed in a Guitar Center, I think it was the King of the Blues competition that my dad was a judge of with Anita West. That's the first time I saw her.
Okay.
But we didn't like talk or anything like that. I met Grace Logan through Grace Stumberg.
Yeah. Now, like the different styles, always, because you do a lot. I mean, you are, as I mentioned, you're a go-to call guy. I mean, people want a drummer. Let's get Josh first, right? And which is great.
Is nice.
Because that's but it's because you can play a lot of different styles, and so I don't know. Maybe I am getting into the weeds a little bit too much, but kind of. I mean, like, and I always talk about like genre, like, like with the guitar. When does rockabilly become psychobilly? We were talking about, do you like that? And when does it become honky tonk? And when does it turn into this? And so, like, what are the nuances putting? You're doing jazz, and then maybe you're getting into a little blues, and then, into the rock. And
so I consider myself first and foremost a rock drummer. Like, that's what I'm truly good at. I've seen some great jazz drummers sit in with rock bands or play a rock song, and rock is relatively easy technique wise compared to jazz, but a lot of times like these jazz cats that they grew up strictly playing jazz, they don't have that attitude that you need to play rock. So I feel like I always bring a little bit of that no matter what. So I'm never going to be the first call guy for a jazz gig,
right?
But a lot of it really is just how you hit. Like that's the main thing. And I know it sounds super obvious, but the thing that's really important for drummers to understand, especially now where it's so easy to just program drums for songs, is you need to have distinct personality. So I really do love like all forms of drumming. It's always bothers me when people really restrict the kinds of music they listen to, because there's so much great just culture and things that you can absorb from all different kinds of music, right? So the main thing that I think about if I'm playing a jazz gig is, because typically a jazz gig that I would get would be a smaller group, and there's going to be a lot of improvising and solos and stuff like that, more like the bop kind of thing instead of like big band or swing or whatever. It's just how you hit. Like, you need to respect the genre, but at the same time, not be shy about being yourself.
Right.
And I think that's where a lot of drummers fail, and they don't get the call back, because if somebody's calling you specifically, play like you. Respect the music and learn the music. Be a good musician, but play like you. And so I try my absolute hardest to always make sure, like, I'll play jazz, I'll lay down the swing, I'm going to hit lighter and, tune the drums differently to get that effect, but I'm never going to not play like myself. Some of those rock chops and that aggression might come out, and that's what makes it special. If you look at somebody like Elvin Jones, guy was a freaking monster player. He wasn't shy at all. He's dripping with sweat, big guy over his kit, hitting hard. Like, you can be yourself. You can be aggressive, even in a genre that, like, might be considered, oh, you shouldn't hit hard because it's jazz. I'm like, just listen to more jazz. There's some crazy jazz out there. But it's really just kind of being a sponge, absorbing all the stuff, listening more than just practicing the stock swing or Latin grooves or whatever. Like, listen, like, why does this work in the context of the music?
Sure. Now, have you ever played rockabilly drums?
No, I don't think I have, but it's just kind of like a more aggressive swing, right? Is how I would consider that.
Because I mean, Slim Jim, he's on a snare and a bass. And
that's awesome.
Just standing up and
so that I've never done.
Yeah,
like I would love to try that. Like one of the stand-up cocktail kits. I've never done that, but it's so cool.
Yeah, it's cool, and it's simple. But like you said, it works.
Yeah,
it's it's crazy how much sound. Everyone knows who's listening to the podcast that I'm a Stray Cats fan, and Brian on his lead guitar, Lee on the slap bass, and then just Slim Jim on that cocktail kit, and they're so simple, but the sound they get is huge, and it's like, how do you do that? It's so. I mean, I saw Stray Cats last summer at Art Park, and Brian played one guitar. He never changed guitars. I think Lee changed up his bass drum or his bass a couple times, and I think that was just because he could. Hey, look, I got a couple of basses.
Yeah,
and I think they brought out a bigger drum for a couple of songs for Jim, but for the most part, it was so stripped down.
And that can be a fun challenge. Or for them at this point, I'm sure it's not a challenge because that's who they are as people, but like, I don't know, man. I love being pushed outside my comfort zone a little when it comes to style.
We gotta. Well, when you play drums with a rockabilly band, give me a call, because I've always wanted to sing with a rockabilly band.
I would love to.
Did you hear that, everybody? So everyone always says, "You sing in a rockabilly band?" No, I sing folk, because that's what my buddy and I do, and I've stretched them a little bit, but anyway, we'll get back to. I know I'm getting in the week because I just think it's so fascinating.
Yeah. I was kind of kidding before, but like,
no, we're
the average listener is not going to be like, oh, let me listen to the price of cymbal stands now,
right?
Which is too high.
But
that's the answer.
But I think it's for anyone getting into it, though. I mean, it's just like, where do you start?
It's tough.
It's tough. It is like guitars. Like, okay, what kind of guitar do I want? What kind of a sound am I looking for? If because I think too, you want to be able to start on something that works for you, because you don't want to get discouraged. Like if I wanted to be a rockabilly guitar player and I'm playing, let's say a Spanish acoustic, that's probably not going to be the right thing to start on.
Sure.
Now I might want to grow into that, down the line and experiment with that. But, to keep that freshness, like you said, it's like, I just want to quit. No, keep at it,
I think too with drums, they have one of the highest barriers of entry because there are a lot of pieces, they're very expensive, they're loud, unless you get an electronic kit, and they're uniquely difficult to learn. Like, I think every instrument's kind of difficult to learn, but there's logistical difficulties with drums. So it is tricky. to get into that. On the flip side, if you decide you want to get into drums, everybody needs a drummer. Everyone needs a drummer.
That's right.
That's why there's always like the stereotype of, there's like a million bands and 3 drummers in the city that play with all of them.
Right, yeah.
And it's kind of true.
Yeah. Well, now, if the drummer's like the general of the band, though, right? I mean, you're keeping time.
I like to think so.
You're keeping, yeah. I mean, not to pat any drummer on the back, but and everybody has their place, obviously. You know, I know the bass players got their thing, and they'll argue with you, but if the drummer's off, and I have said, my buddy and I, you know, we do our folk duo thing, and my wife's niece's husband, Pearson Constantino, big shout out to you, Pearson. He's a great drummer, lives in Troy, New York, and we were down in Canandaigua for a vacation, and my buddy Steve, he knows a guy who's got a winery down there, and so we got a gig. And I said, Pearson, sit in with us. And he brought some brushes, and he said on the guitar case, but just keeping that beat.
And brushes is not easy.
No, he kept, because my buddy tends to get a little fast sometimes, but he kept us right. I mean, Pearson was right in the pocket, just kept it going, and I still think that was one of our best gigs that we've ever done.
That's awesome.
Because he just kept that time and it's like, what was different? It's like, we had a drummer. We had, we just had someone that's, okay, slow down. You're getting a little too fast.
For sure.
Let's, but boy, you got to self-regulate though back there too, because you could get real fast real quick too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. That's, I think most drummers struggle with that. Drummers don't tend to drag. We tend to rush. So like, I know me personally, I think at this point, I'm pretty good about locking in to a tempo, but sometimes I start songs not super fast, but a little fast.
Right.
Megan, oddly enough, likes it when things are a little faster, which is, she's the only singer that I've heard say that, because most people are like, dude, I can't get the words out. Like, pull it back a little
right,
bit.
Yeah.
Right? So my little trick that I would recommend to every drummer out there that's starting a song is just sing the chorus in your head, and that's learn the lyrics of the song, because there's no greater guide to a song than like actually knowing the lyrics. But then sing the chorus in a spot that you think it feels good, and that's a good baseline to like where you should start the song. Oh, cool. And you might get it wrong, still, because you got adrenaline, you're pumped up, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But that's what I do, and I'm like, okay, I gotta start the song. Let me sing the chorus in my head. Do 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 do. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
then we're in.
All right. So getting back to your story. So I'm sorry, I digress.
Oh, it's all good.
And so getting back to Grace Stumberg. So what type of music were you doing with Grace?
It was her originals. So singer-songwriter, but it was fun. At the time when I first joined her, Bob James was playing guitar. And Mike Petrino on bass, Grace, of course, singing and playing rhythm guitar. And it was just really fun for me, because with playing English, playing with my brother and my dad, we essentially just jammed. Like that was the band. We would just jam all the time, right? Okay. So with Grace, she'd have the songs, but she's very good, still to this day is really good about kind of stretching it out to let their musicians do their thing. Okay. So for me, I'm like, oh, this is like the best of both worlds. Like I get to play the song, and then Bob takes a guitar solo, and we get to kind of open up and get a little weird. And then, later Grace Logan started playing lead, and like we would just go nuts with the jams and stuff, but always bring it back to the songs, and would get real rock. And I'm not going to take all the credit for that, but like, I think part of it's just the way I like to play. I like to hit hard. I like to play aggressively, and just bring that kind of energy to stuff. They had to tell me to pull it back, right? Because I was just coming out of a death metal band at the point. And so like we'd play like Neil Young rocking the Free World, and I'd be playing like double bass at the end and going nuts. And like we had a band meeting talking about stuff. It's like, you gotta like cool it. And so that was a learning experience too. But now with Grosh, we're getting heavy again. So I'm getting the double bass chops back a little bit.
So now when you were playing with Grace, like what came next after Grace Stumberg, that is? So
Grace Stumberg, we played for a while. We still do play together. after that, I'm trying to think of the chronology here. I think that would be like my main band.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, I just kind of get gigs, filling in for whoever. And then, so the Nursery, that's not a band anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But Alex, who directed our music videos, I met him. He's the singer and guitar player in the Nursery.
Mm-hmm.
And I met him through my brother. Alex used to be in a band called the Ruby Spirit. And when they disbanded, he started a band called the Nursery. And we, would talk and stuff like that. But he lived in Canada.
Mm.
And they were between drummers. And one thing led to another. And I auditioned for them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great. And so that band took up a lot of my time at that
Right.
point. I remember driving my shitty Chrysler 300, which was a sweet car. It was just old.
Yeah.
And I'm like a broke 20-something.
Right.
I'm leaking coolant. Can't
Yeah.
afford to like get it fixed. So I'm just bringing gallons of water and with me driving around like, oh, it's overheating. Pull over, pour water into the coal. Just crazy
That's right.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. But that band, we toured a lot of Canada.
Mm-hmm.
We had songs in Schitt's Creek. We had songs in Kim's Convenience that, I got some sweet royalty checks from. So that was
Nice.
like the one time where I'm like, whoa, like this one feels really serious. And then, that band sort of stopped. And Grace was leaving Freight Train's band at the time. And
Mhm.
we started Grosh as a side project.
Mm-hmm.
And the timing ended up kind of being really fortuitous because
Right.
I think I'm actually getting my timeline wrong. I think we did the Grosh side project when we were both in the bands.
Okay.
And then we had more time after we both left Nursery and Freight Train.
Mm-hmm.
We still did the duo thing for a while.
Right.
One thing led to another. We got Megan, we got Dylan, and
Mhm.
just too lazy to change the name. And,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But with Grace, we played a lot of gigs together, and this was before, I think, Joan,
Mhm.
before she left with Joan Baez. So we were gigging all the time, I
Mhm.
remember. So that would be like my first
Right.
serious band, I think, was with Grace Stumberg.
Right. Oh, cool.
Mhm.
Now with Grosh, has it always been the four of you guys? I know sometimes Dylan can't,
Yeah, no,
get out
that's
and there's but
Mhm.
it's been the four of you guys.
yes.
Right.
There was, times where we have to get fill-in players. Colin Brydalski's been doing great
Mhm.
on the road with us because Dylan, he's got
Yeah.
a kid. He's got
Right.
like a big boy job, responsibility
Yeah.
stuff. So sometimes you can't make it.
Sure.
Colin Brydalski does a phenomenal job. But yeah, Grace is very much me, Grace, Megan, and Dylan. Like that is the band.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, do you do any writing with the band?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. So there's a couple times where I'll kind of fiddle around with the guitar and just like send my ideas to Grace, and she's brilliant, so she'll
Mhm.
actually figure out like what
Sure.
I'm trying to do, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then Megan will write she'll write vocals over that, and it'll be great. Other times I have an idea for like just a beat or a groove that's stick in my head,
Mhm.
and I'll send it to Grace, and she'll write a riff or a structure around that.
Right.
So it's really communal. Typically, Grace comes up with the skeleton of the song first, or the
Mhm.
riff or whatever. But there are times where we've all had like something else contributed that started the song. I think for Mr. Rogers, I'm pretty sure that was a Megan song. I think she had like this line. We wanted to do a funk song, and she had like my brother and my sister. I could be wrong about all this. I think
Mhm.
that's the origin of that.
Okay.
So that's one of the songs that didn't start with Grace writing it particularly. I think. I could be wrong.
Right.
But yeah, definitely help with the writing.
Now I'm going to jump because you're also in another, what I think is a really great band, which is Stress Dolls.
I love Stress Dolls.
Chelsea, man.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a whole different
It is.
animal.
It's totally, I have to play totally differently.
Mhm.
And it's the fun part for
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
is like those songs are songs. Like you're playing the song, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's cool because Chelsea writes really freaking good songs.
Right.
So
How did you get involved in that with Chelsea?
I recorded drums on the Forward EP with her. I want to say this was around COVID. I feel like I remember wearing masks and stuff in the studio, but that's when I first started playing with her. we would see each other in passing, you know, every now and then. I knew who she was from Wolf and then being on the radio. But with Stress Dolls, that's the first time. Yeah, like I don't think I played anything live with her before then. I think that was my first time, was just recording the drums on that EP.
Right. Yeah, because if any of you are looking at rockabillygreg.com, you'll notice the photos that I have up there are of Josh playing with Stress Dolls.
Yeah.
At the Cave, I think in 2024. So got some good pictures. So tried to get some photos of you playing up there at Keenan Center, but you were so far in the back. And,
that was tricky to get pictures on.
And that's a tough thing too. I mean, for all of us guys who are trying to take photographs of bands, drummer's always in the back.
I know. I love it when the one I'm a big fan of right now is when the band set up in a line. Yeah. I love that. Or if the drummer's up front and they're kind of surrounding the drummer. Tool does that pretty famously. But like that's cool too, because then you get to see what everybody's doing. Or if the drummer's set up sideways so you can actually see what they're doing with their feet. Like I don't know, man. Why do we always got to be in the back? What's up with that?
Exactly. What is up with that? Not fair.
Not fair.
Especially for us photographers. Because I want to get a good picture. And bass players always seem to, they always tell you, find your light, right? They always don't find the light. Let's get back where no one can see us, and we'll just kind of, but not all, I mean, Robbie's not that kind of a bass player, right? So, he's out there doing his thing, but, just get into the stereotypes. But I also think, Chelsea's got a cool model, because now, like Grace and Megan do the girls of Grosh, but like, Chelsea just has some Stress Dolls. Solo, duo, 4-piece. From a marketing standpoint, I think that's genius.
Yeah, it is.
Because she can market herself any way she wants, and she's in total control.
Just one consistent brand, no matter what she's doing.
Exactly. Yep. I've got Stress Dolls Solo today, and it's just her. And you know what you're getting, right? I'm like, man, that is just so cool. And to give a big shout out to Chelsea, because she's the one, if anyone's noticed my logo and that pink flamingo, that's Chelsea. She drew that pink flamingo for me. So
she's the best.
Yeah, she is the best. So even me being the artist, I'm like, no, I want you to do it. Because I like your style. And it can't always, you have to. It's like a band, right? It's a collective piece.
Yeah, it really is like a music community, because she's a musician. She's also an artist. You're a musician. You're a podcaster. You could do the art yourself, but that's the communal part.
Exactly.
Where like we all just have these, this connecting tissue that brings us all together, so we can have cool stuff like this. Like that's the scene part of it. Like I love the Buffalo music scene.
Yeah, really that is truly the scene. And now you guys have toured a little bit. I know Grosh has. Yeah. You got a favorite room that you like outside of Buffalo?
Outside of Buffalo, there's a bar, and it's like a sports bar that really they've done a great job cultivating a music following. It's called Bunsey's. I believe it's in Fairport, just outside Rochester. Okay. And they take amazing care of us there. The sound is great. Dave Bunce, that he runs the place. Right. He's a great guy. The food's awesome. So every time we have a Bunsey's gig, I'm like, yeah, because it's not that far away either. Sure. We get like a solid crew of people from Rochester that come out to see us, and it's a good job. Also, Bug Jar in Rochester, love Bug Jar. Yeah, but like, I don't know. Bunsey's always feels really cool to play. Right. I always look forward to playing there.
And of course, having a good sound person.
Yes.
Makes a big difference, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And now when you go to those places, are you bringing your own kit, or do a lot of those places have the kits set up for you?
Depends. Bunsey's, I bring my own kit. Bug Jar, I don't believe they have a back line either. Okay. But in general, if there's a back line, you should use it as a drummer. Make everyone's life easier, including your own. Right. Like, I love my drums. Love them with my whole heart. Right. I also love not bringing anything with me.
I was going to say, drummer's the first guy to come and the last guy to leave, right? So.
Usually, yeah. We got to set up our whole kit, Yeah. And we're being all extra about, I need this splash cymbal that only I'm going to care about. I'm like, cool, man.
Now, do you tweak? So if there is a kit at a venue, do you tweak like the positioning and all that kind of stuff?
Generally, but nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy?
Yeah. I do get a little picky about just heights and stuff like that, but I could easily, if like you get there and like, hey man, you're on in 10 minutes. Like, I can sit down and play. It'll
Sure.
be fine.
I mean, does that get tough when you're playing on a bill with somebody else too, and they got to use the same kit?
No, that would be better.
Mm.
Because I feel like drummers, the only issue is if somebody's left-handed.
Gotcha.
Then you got to
Yeah.
flip the whole kit around.
Right.
That's kind of a problem. But in
Mhm.
general, like if there's a back line or a shared kit, drummers are going to bring their cymbals, their snare, maybe their pedals, maybe their throne.
Mhm.
And what you'll just be adjusting is just heights and angles on stuff,
Right,
and that
okay.
takes like 5 minutes to
Sure.
get right, you know?
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's good. I've always wondered that because you know, I know it's sportsman's there. And, you know, my old buddy Billy Bates, you know, he took care of the
did a great job.
Yeah.
Excellent
old
job.
Billy.
Mm-hmm.
What a great guy.
Awesome
And,
guy.
yeah, I used to work with Billy back in the day. He was
Mhm.
in the pre-press business, and you know, by day, and he'd always be like, "Greg, man, yeah, it's like I got a gig tonight. I got to leave early." I'm like, Billy, you know, and I didn't really understand back then, you know,
Mhm.
what was going on, and, you know, just how big he was too, you know. And,
Oh yeah,
you know, and it's like, wow, you know,
he's the man.
Yeah, he knew. Oh yeah, I know those cats. You know, I remember seeing Harry Connick Jr. and he's like, "Hey, was Wolfie playing the bass?" I said, "Yeah, this guy. I think it was named John Wolf or something like that." "Yeah, Wolfie, man, we go way back." And I'm like, "Billy, who don't you know, man?" and that's part of the music scene, though, right? I mean, now it's like, you know, my kids are always like, "Dad, who don't you know?" I'm like,
Yeah,
a ton of people.
uh-huh.
I'm still with this podcast. I'm learning.
That's hard for me to
so
believe,
much.
man. You got a finger on the pulse of the
Yeah.
Buffalo music scene history.
I mean, there's almost, you know, brag a little bit, almost 200 episodes, but I was just scratching the surface.
Mm-hmm.
With 200, you know, mostly different guests. I mean, you know, had bands with 3-4 people on it, so you know that all counts. But it's like, man, because some people say, "Did you have Richie? Did he have Richie yet?" Nope, haven't had Richie on
You
yet.
should.
You know?
That would be a blast.
Right.
Like he is. Oh man, he's a great communicator. He's got so much to say. He's got so many cool
Yeah.
stories and stuff like that. Like you should definitely reach out to him.
Well, and I've reached out to Michael Hunt because I've said,
Yeah,
you know,
oh my
because I know Dylan's and Grace was
you
like,
should get both of them.
well, that's what Grace said. You get them both. So I reached
Yeah.
out to Michael because I know Michael. I've known Michael for a long time, and he's awesome. And I've sang with him playing guitar. Oh, oh my God,
Michael would be on his third whiskey right now, or his third tequila. Sorry.
Well, I think I've had 2. So, but yeah, it's wild. So now I know you're in a couple other bands because I saw you, and again, you know, some of the pictures you might see. You were just playing with Jacob Nicholson.
Yeah, so that's a relatively new one, the JT Nickel Trio.
Right.
That one's a lot of fun for me because it's not a jazz group, but it leans in that direction. I think Jake called it like singer-songwriter fusion, and I think that's a good way to put it.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, like I'm not used to playing in that kind of context. I'm used to almost always playing with a guitar of some sort.
Right.
There's no guitar in that band. It's drums, keys, bass.
Right.
So I met Jake and Mike through Zach Ward, playing with the $1 Million Question, and you know, depending on when this airs, his new record might be out now. Stream it; it's dope.
Okay. Which is that Jacob or Zach?
Zach.
Oh.
Jake has been posting. We recorded some live in studio stuff that he's been posting on that. So there's one out at the time of this podcast. I don't know if he's going to have another out after, but that's a lot of fun playing with him too. Yeah. I think I saw you at
yeah.
What do you call it? Revolver.
Yeah. Yeah. Because my buddy Scott Reynolds was
he was great.
Oh,
he was so good.
Yeah, we went to high school together.
Uh-huh.
Scott's a great guy.
Those girls wouldn't stop talking though.
No. Like, shut up.
Really?
Yeah. I'm trying to listen to the music.
Yep.
You know, which kind of brings up a great point. I mean, some rooms are not listening rooms, right?
No.
I mean, people are talking, people are drinking, people are eating. You're up there killing it, and it's like, dudes, you know, we're. Do you ever try to adjust, or you just keep going?
It's not much you can do,
right?
Unless somebody's like being really rude, then I guess you could call them out from the stage. But
right.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
adjust.
Do you ever play a little quieter just to see what they'll do? Like, oh wow, now where'd the band go? You know?
Well, then the flip side of that is they just might not react at all. I'm like, ooh,
Right, yeah.
that hurts. But it is what it is, you know? Sometimes you play the greatest set of your life and nobody cares. That is part of being a musician.
Right.
Sometimes you feel like you played like shit, but people love it anyway. You know, like that is just part of it.
I know. You can't be your own worst critic, right? You just have to.
I think every musician is.
Oh gosh, yes.
But
yeah.
you never get a chance to like step outside yourself and see what other people see.
Oh, I know for me with this podcast, I'm like, that wasn't the best episode I've ever done. And then the numbers go out the roof. I'm like, okay, I guess
that always happens.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, all right, I'm just going to do the thing and let it fall where it falls. Right. So now are there any other bands that you like are consistently in? I know you're called for a lot of bands, but
yeah, right now the main ones would be Grosh, Stress Dolls, $1 Million Question, JT Nickel Trio. I play a lot with Gina McManus and Stoneflower. A few years ago, we played all the time. I think both our schedules just got a little different, but we still play together.
Sure.
Playing with Dave Schultz near the end of January. That'll be my first time playing with him. But I would say the first 4, and I think Grosh takes up the most time,
right?
For sure. So, because before COVID, it felt like I was playing with everybody, and it was kind of ridiculous. Like I was getting sick of it.
Right.
But now it's mostly original stuff. You know, Gino does covers and tribute shows. He does great original music too.
Right.
But mostly just original acts, and then filling in if somebody needs me on a gig.
Right. Yeah. Now music's what you do for a living, right?
Yep.
You teach, you play. It's good for you. I mean, God bless you that you can do that, because not many people can.
It's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough.
I could imagine.
I have to give just being honest here, a huge shout out to my wife Lindsay, who she's got a great job, and that helps having the 2 incomes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, and I also
makes it so I don't have to get a real job.
Well, first of all, you do have a real job.
Thank you.
Second of all, I do think it's important that you have a spouse, a partner that supports you, because creatives are a different animal. And to be able to understand, because you can't just, okay, you're done, Josh. You don't need to do this anymore. It's like, no, that's always going to be in you, right? So you have to have a partner who's like, yeah, this is who he is. I'm never going to change him. The music's going to be in you, right? You'll be on your deathbed and you're going to be tapping your toes, For
real. It's wild, because sometimes I'll look at my calendar, I'm like, oh my God, I got a stretch. I got a 2-week stretch. I got no gigs. This is awesome.
Right.
Not to sound ungrateful, but sometimes it's nice to have a couple weeks off work,
Right.
But about midway through that second week, I'm like, I need to play a gig. Like, what are we doing?
I was going to say, if you went 6 months, you'd be like, oh my God.
Yeah. It's like, that early COVID was tough, man. That was tough. But at the same time, I'm, as a musician, a little grateful, because it gave me so much time to just actually practice and hone my craft, because I was getting so much at that point where I just wasn't practicing at all. So I feel like I got way better at drums after COVID, because I just had so much more time to just practice.
Right. That's cool. Were you able to do lessons online?
Yeah, we did
one-to-one
Zoom lessons. Yeah.
Right.
That was a nightmare. Terrible.
Yeah.
Trying to teach drums to, primarily children.
Yeah.
Over these screens where, they got the voice filter that tries to cut out anything that's not a human voice.
Yeah.
So you hit a drum as hard as you can, no sound. That was not fun.
Right.
But we made it work.
Yeah. Yeah. That had to be a struggle.
Yeah.
But now what as far as Grosh goes, I mean, are you ready if Hollywood comes a calling? And people discover that brand new record you guys just put out and say, this is the best thing since sliced bread. We want to tour you. Are you ready to rock?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Yeah.
Damn straight.
Yeah. Let's go.
Right.
I don't know. That's my musical family. Grace in particular. I love Megan and I love Dylan, right? But Grace is my musical sister.
Right.
and just like I'm ready.
Right.
I'll probably complain a lot on tour because that's my personality.
I was going to say, I've never seen you complain on social media, Josh.
No,
so I don't know what you're talking about.
I never post anything controversial.
Just as a segue, you kill me on Facebook. Oh my God. I see your stuff and I'm like, and people they just take the bait.
Dude.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy. And
I went to the Jackrabbit musician mixer a couple days ago at the time of this podcast, and I was laughing because I'd walk in and when I watch a Bills game, I like lose my mind.
Yeah.
And I just post it and I put my phone down. I don't look at it after. And like I walk in and people are like, "You need to calm down." It's like alternatively like, "Dude, I love your post. It's so funny."
Yeah.
And also like, "What is wrong with you?" Like, yeah, man, when I'm not playing music, like I'm annoying people on the internet. So this is why I need to play music.
So some people call that passion,
Sure, that's one word for it.
Well, we are in Bill's country, so I mean, it is. I get a kick out of it. I look at stuff, and and every now and then I'll want to chime in. And I'm like, nah, I don't feel like I'm kind of, one of the guys to, and I'm just not. I'm not the comedian I think I am. So I'm like, I'll just watch from the sidelines. And I was trying to get to that, but me, the old guy that I am, I went out 3 days in a row, one of them to Toronto, and I hit a wall. I'm like, I can't go. I wanted to go so bad and see everybody and, take photos and stuff. But
yeah, it was a real good time.
Yeah.
It really is.
I just fell. I'm like,
there's nothing wrong with that. I think the artist types too. It's gonna be my lecture part of the podcast, but I don't know. If you're an artist, very non-traditional career path, like don't forget to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Don't forget to just if you're burnt out and your friends that hopefully they're your friends that you perform with, you're like, hey, I need a little break.
Right.
Like that should be okay.
Yeah.
Because really good musicians, I think, really pour their heart out on stage. And that's an exhausting thing, emotionally and physically. So like once you get off the stage, you got that post-gig high, then you get home. It's like, I just need to like chill out. You know, like it is a strange career path to choose, and like, just like everybody else that works, tough manual labor, or like 9 to 5s, whatever. All that stuff, like eventually you need a break.
Oh yeah,
I think we got
the adrenaline that you bring to a show. You're playing 2 hours, 3 hours sometimes, and man, you're right, you're high, and you're just, and then all of a sudden, boom, you crash.
Yeah,
and then it's like you're on the other side. It's like, oh man, trying to get yourself up, and those lows and highs are just, and if you're doing that every night, yeah,
or even every weekend, like
you just got to figure out kind of how to, as you said, how to take care of yourself, how to manage that, what to do on your downtime. And, I remember, I got started doing musical theater, and the first show that I did, I took opening night off, and everybody who had done shows before, they're like, no, you shouldn't take opening night off from work. You need to take the day after we close. Because, and I'm like, why? They're like, you'll find out. And it was, man, that after we closed, show's done, sets are down. It's like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
It's like, and people don't understand that who haven't done it.
And then for drums too, uniquely, it's a lot of gear and it's a very physical instrument.
Right.
So like, take care of your body, guys, like for real, guys and girls, theys, thems, take care of your body.
Yeah.
Because you want longevity. Like the most heartbreaking thing for me is that Phil Collins just physically cannot play drums anymore.
Right.
Because he had horrible posture when he played.
Right.
He didn't take care of himself the way he should have. One of the all-time greatest drummers. You know, he just can't do it anymore. Like, I want to be doing this until I'm like Roy Haynes. I believe he passed away, but swinging his ass off well into his 90s.
Yeah.
Like that's where I want to be. Like I want to be, I can accept that as I get older, you know,
Mm-hmm.
my body will age and things will become harder on the drums. That's life, right? But if I can still sound good, like well into my 90s, that'd be awesome.
Oh,
That's,
I know.
That's the dream right there.
Well, it's like who was the drummer? I'm trying to think. He was Conan O'Brien's band leader, and of course the drummer with the E Street Band.
It's not Anton Fig.
No, it's Weinberg.
Yeah, Max Weinberg.
Max Weinberg. Yeah,
his son is also a great drummer.
Yeah. When you say he had the best posture, I mean he was always so straight up, and he looked so. You know, but boy, he could play.
He's a beast.
Yeah. So
and those marathon shows that Springsteen puts on, like
I saw 1984. I saw the Born in the USA tour, and they played 4 hours.
Amazing.
No breaks.
Amazing.
Just keep on rocking. The big man, you know, blowing the sax, and Weinberg's doing his thing, and little Steven's up there. And it's like I couldn't imagine like being in that band. You'd be like, Bruce, what the hell are you trying to do to us? You know, and doing that night after night after night. I mean, because you're on stage 4 hours. You're sound checking. You're setting up. Now, obviously, those guys got roadies, you know, to set stuff up. But still, it's a
long day.
It's a 10, 12-hour day, and then you're driving in a bus.
Yep.
Right. And it's like
it's probably cramped.
Yeah, cramped. Maybe you get a hotel room at but it's a hotel room. You know, it's not your own bed, and it's you gotta love it. And I, you know, going back to my buddy Scott Reynolds, he's like, I toured over the world. I slept in cars. You know, I did. He says, and I do it over again in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
I just absolutely love it. He says, I absolutely love it.
Yep.
And it's like, that's what you got to do.
Absolutely.
You got to do what you love. So, well, Josh, we've gotten to close to the top of the hour here.
Wow, that was fast.
It does go fast, and I'm sorry if I have monopolized the conversation here.
That was great.
But I can't thank you enough for coming down here, spending some time with me, telling your story, and just talking drums. I think that's
absolutely talking music.
Talking music, talking music.
Contrary to popular belief, drummers are musicians, not just people that hang out with musicians.
You're the coolest cats, though, right? So
sometimes.
Well, Josh, again, thanks for coming down, and for everyone who's tuned in, thanks for listening. We hope you've had just as much fun as we have. As always, you can find the podcast where you get your podcasts at Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Amazon Audible, YouTube, thebuffalohive.com, and you can always get the podcast at rockabillygreg.com, where it's all about the music. But before we go, I'd like to leave you with a little taste of Josh's drumming. At the top of the show, we mentioned he was a member of the award-winning Toronto band, The Nursery. The Nursery is a bold, dark, and playful alternative rock trio with songs commenting on the intense emotions of youth, contrasting themes of fear, rebellion, obsession, desire, and alienation. The Nursery has earned song rotation and interviews on mainstream and independent radio stations in Canada, the United States, and Mexico with their breakout single, Everybody's Famous. Josh can also be heard behind the kit on Hoodwinked, the latest single from Zach Ward and the $1 Million Question. A staple of the local scene, the group is celebrated for their high-energy fusion of funk, jam, and indie influences, as well as their standout original compositions and tribute sets. Thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoy these tunes. And make sure to visit rockabillygreg.com, where you can find bonus information, including videos from two of Josh's other bands, Stress Dolls and Grosh. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
as long as I can breathe. What a fool I'll be, as long as I can breathe. Oh, what a fool I'll always be, long as I can breathe. What a fool I'll be, as long as I can breathe. Oh, what a fool I'll always be, always be.
In the Flamingo Lounge is made possible in part by CatsLikeUs.com, your online store for authentic vintage clothing and accessories. Buffalo Ironworks, an intimate live music venue and bar located in the Cobblestone District in downtown Buffalo. And by Diamond Hawk Golf Course and Pub, Western New York's premier golf course, restaurant, and banquet facility. At the Hawk, the bar is hopping year-round with live music every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. And some other nights, too. Tune in for a new episode every Saturday at 9 a.m. EST at rockabillygreg.com, where it's all about the music. Bark, Zoe, bark. Good girl.